But last time, actually the last two live chats, I didn't take questions, but we're changing that this time. So if you have questions, or actually the earlier the better, go ahead and drop them, man. We're gonna do the entire discussion, and it's not gonna be too long because I'm about to take my ritual half scoop. But while I'm reading y'all comments, I'm gonna take this scoop. If you got a question, hit your boy with them. Oh man, my zodiac is a Cancer. I said that in my story. My zodiac sign is a Cancer. Apparently we're emotional as hell, but creative too. And I agree. I was listening to LMA. Yesterday, and Jacquees and Jodeci. Oh, in my feelings, man. How to make yourself approachable as a woman. I just say do whatever the opposite is of what you do when you don't want to be bothered. You know what you do when you don't want to be bothered? You know how your face look, you know how fast that you walk, you know how you get around somebody, so you busy yourself on your phone. Whatever the body language is, whenever you do not feel like being fucked with today, this ain't the day, you don't feel like talking, think of what you do in those times, right? And do the exact opposite. Instead of frowning, smile, you know? Instead of like having to speed the fuck walk, if you're around vicinity of people, there may be one or two attractive guys around, take your time a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Look a little vacant, just a little vacant. You don't normally speak to nobody first. You can say a hello, ask a question, a general question. You ain't got to go in, hey, I'm single and ready to mingle. You just ask a general question, like all the things opposite of what you do when you don't feel like being fucked with. All right, let's see here. V. Anna says, is cheating regular in a relationship? I would say it's regular in relationships, but not in healthy relationships. So, which one do you want? You know, if you just want a relationship, then yeah, it's going to include cheating. It's going to include a whole lot of shit. Being stagnant, neglect. If you just want a relationship, but if you want a healthy relationship, then no, it's not regular in healthy relationships at all. Let's see. My Susie Cake, happy belated birthday, sweetie. Have another shot for me. I'm sure you already did all your drinking, but have another shot for me. Let's see. Crazy Tina says, how come in for a way want an independent, confident, educated, and woman who holds it down? But when he finds her, he does not know what to do. All right, so I'm going to just assume, should I say, that you mean how come guys say they want an independent, confident, and educated woman who holds it down, but when they find one, they don't know what to do. Shit, I about to use all my brain power trying to decipher that. Okay. We ask for a lot of times, what we ask for is what we want and not what we're ready for. That's human nature. So in the same way people ask, oh, I want my own business, I want kids, I want a marriage, I want $1 million. You know, people that hit the lotto get $1 million and they blow it. Or they got an addictive personality, so they overdose on drugs. Like, it's a lot of things we ask for, but we're really not ready for. And the woman with all those qualities that you named tends to be one in a relationship. For guys, we're behind the 8 ball in terms of getting prepared for you guys, because we've been trained all our lives to get ready for the thoughts, so we want to call them, you know, the girls who are easy sexually and just fucking everybody. Like, that's what we train ourselves for. I ain't known not one dude, I've known very few, should I say, that have been wanting and say they want a thought, a girl that's easy, a first nighter, etc., and just was not ready for her. Like, we ready for that shit. We ready for a girl that just want to fuck, but we never ready for that girl that wants to love us fully. All right. I just explained why so many are not ready. We're not trained that way. You ever been catfished? Nah. I never looked for love online, but I've been used as a catfish. My pictures, man, they all over Tinder. I ain't got no Tinder, but it's all over Tinder. Plenty of fish, man. I At least twice a day, I see somebody saying, hey, this person's impersonating you. I got like 6 or 7 Instagram profiles that ain't got nothing to do with me. And I hate it for anybody that's been got. All right, let's see here. The same reason we want a great guy, but when we find that we don't want it. Okay, sure. Is it possible that the guy breaks up with you to get his shit together first, says B.M. Ayrton? It is possible. It is possible. And it don't always mean he a bad person. The whole situation, though, when it comes to that, is just really a matter of where you stand on it. You know, has he given you enough in that first run for you to feel like, you know what, I'm willing to be open to another chance? I don't recommend waiting. I don't recommend just waiting idly by, because I doubt he's going to be waiting idly by. You know what I'm saying? Most times in those situations, as a dude's trying to make that upgrade on his own, when he finally makes that upgrade, he's still open to other options. Most times now. Most times. But as long as you aren't obligated or feel obligated to wait, it is possible for a guy to say, in trying to love you, I'm realizing some things about myself I didn't know before I came into this situation, and I don't want to go forward with these things because I may burn this bridge or ruin this chance forever, for sure. So, totally. It sucks, but it's possible. All right, we got some hurt niggas in here. Let's see, let me get them up out. Yeah, we got some hurt ones up in here. Bye-bye. Okay. How old am I? 29 years old. Do I believe in long-distance relationships? I sure do. But not the relationship itself being long-distance the entire time. Just the phase of the relationship. You know, if it's a relationship where y'all never gonna see each other, then I don't think that's gonna work. But if it's a relationship where you guys started off in person, or maybe not even in person, but at some point you know that you're getting to the point where you're gonna be able to see them regularly, yeah, that's cool. How to effectively apologize to a guy after going crazy, says Claire Lane. First off, Claire Lane, you might have just fucked it up for good. Just want to be 100 with you. You might have fucked it up for good. You say go crazy. What does that mean? Going crazy like you slapped him? Going crazy like you pulled a knife on him? Threatened his child? Like, what kind of crazy are we talking about? Because, I mean, if a dude ain't did shit to deserve no wrongdoing from you, and you go crazy on him, he might say, you know what, this girl, she's not ready for me. And he'll be 100% justified. So, all that apologizing is cool. Like, you can apologize with doves flying, with Casey and JoJo singing behind you, Brian McKnight backing them up on bended knee, all the shit in the world. I just want to let you know and be realistic with you. If you really fucked it up, it might be just done, no matter how good you apologize. But other than that, accountability first. And being open to whatever it is he needs and requires in order to feel comfortable trusting you again, if he should give you a chance. Somebody says, do you think it's cool to rekindle old flings into relationships? Says Egina. I think, I'm not necessarily rekindling the fling, but if you guys want to start back over as friends, kind of try to rebuild that foundation, which is difficult, but it's possible. It's possible. I've heard of people. I actually have a friend that was a first night stand. I can't say one night because they're married now. And they've been married for, I think, like 5 or 6 years. 2 kids between them. Beautiful thing. But that's what they did. They had to like, like, you actually are cool as fuck. Like, let's not mess this up. Let's bring it back, be friends, and start from there. So, Betta Rami says, I think you're very handsome. Oh, thank you so much. Somebody said something about Snapchat porn. Man, I ain't even been on Snapchat. I ain't been on Snapchat in months. Hold on, somebody texted me. Let me make sure ain't on emergency. And it's not. Somebody says, how do you feel about marriage, not marrying? I am a big advocate of marriage, but I'm also a big advocate at looking at marriage objectively. And I have been, funny enough, because I've grown a lot in my perspective since, like, I first started 2012. But one thing, I had just went back and saw an old post of mine from 2013, that marriage alone is not enough. So I've been saying this shit. And what I mean is, instead of looking at the title of marriage as the end-all, be-all, It needs to be more so about the quality of the relationship that you're trying to evolve and turn into a marriage. You know, the person that you're marrying, what path they're on, what do they mean for your life over the long term, and then even still, because you can only do so much forecasting before you get into a relationship or a marriage, then still keeping your wellness as a number one priority. And I understand in a marriage, like, you're supposed to be selfless and da-da-da-da, but if you self-sacrifice, you're not going to be good for nobody. So I'm one of those proponents of marriage that also believes that marriage itself should be held to a certain standard, and if it should fall below for too long or to a point of no return, then there ain't no marriage you need to be involved with. Now, as far as not marrying, that's anybody's choice, because it is work, and I don't believe marriage is for everybody. So if you identified yourself as saying, hey, this marriage thing just ain't for me, then that's cool. Just get with somebody who on the same page. What lip balm? I need to use some more is what you're telling me? I thought I just used some. This shit, whatever this is, I think it's like cheap though. Let's see, how do you feel about, I just talked about long distance relationships. Laura Locke says, I fell out of love years ago and trying to hold on and try for our kids 9 years in. Is it possible to fall back in love once respect is lost? I believe it is, but that's a tough one. I don't think you had a point of no return. If it was ever real for both of you, then it could be real again, but it can't just be you fighting for that. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be you wanting that. It can't just be you committing to that process of getting back to that point. So both of you got to see that as a priority, and both of you got to be willing to compromise to do what it takes to come back together. It seems like y'all have grown apart. Now, I'm curious, what made him lose your respect? Now, some stuff is kind of permanent now. Like, say, for instance, if he touched on a little kid or something like that, like, if he put his hands on you, that might be something that's just permanently lost. But the biggest thing I would say, if both of you are still willing to work for it, that's your only chance. Oh, man. Let's see here. Baby Melanin Queen says, a guy I was talking to told me he didn't want a relationship, but he'll treat it like we were in one. Soon after that, I decided to back off, and he was mad that I didn't want to do relationship things. I mean, that ain't even a question, but I'm glad it's not. I'm glad you know. Glad you peeped. Yeah, it's real nice. Hey, look, man. I'm not even going to go there. Why do you think the men that troll your page are upset that you level the playing field? Says Kimmy Fenty. That's an interesting question. I mean, there's a couple of reasons, man. You look at any activist, anybody who's a proponent of change, is really going to piss off and ruffle the feathers of those who've been benefiting off of the way things currently are. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not equating myself to these people, but you look at, like, Martin Luther King didn't exactly make all friends. You know, Malcolm X and the likes, you know, whoever it is that you think of, that's the first people that come to mind when I think of an activist. In a sense, I am an activist, you know, for the equality and fairness in relationships, healthy relationships. So, yeah, those people who are currently winning the game as it is, if I'm coming to change the game, they're not too happy about that. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But they got the right one, though, because I don't give a fuck. They got the right one. Well, you can't bully me. I try to keep them from triggering y'all, though. Let's see. What do you do when you tell the man you were with you're pregnant, and then he backs off saying he doesn't know what he wants, but won't leave you alone? So Butterfly Kisses, saying you don't know what you want, a guy saying anybody saying they don't know what they want, is them saying they know exactly what they don't want enough to be definitive about it. So if he has the opportunity to have you, a family with you, a baby with you, move forward with you, and in the face of that, he's saying, I don't know. He just told you that what he does not want. Not enough to be definitive about it. Imagine somebody putting $1 million in your face. Say, hey, look, this could be your money. You know, duffel bags, whatever holds $1 million. I ain't never seen $1 million cash. Would you say, you know what? I just don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. No. It's $1 million. You know you want that. You'll figure out the rest later. You'll figure out how you're going to spend it, how you're going to invest it. All that shit you can figure out later. Right here, right now, you got a chance to get $1 million, though. And because you identified as such and you got good sense, you're going to jump on that. So, anytime a brother says, or, vice versa, says, oh, I don't know what I want, he's telling you what he does not want. Somebody says, you've seen 1 million viewers? How I manifest, bro? I ain't never touched $1 million. I said I've never seen $1 million cash. Big difference. I don't think I want to see $1 million cash because it's probably in a safe place to be. Ricky the Coach, what's happening? Succulent says, do you believe in going back to exes after years of being broken up? I do. I do. But I just think, it needs to not be just because of familiarity. It needs to be because you guys have actually corrected what was wrong in that first run. If it need to be two people becoming completely new versions of themselves, healing, whatever it is, that needs to be the reason why you go back, in a sense. But if you're going back to the same old shit, years between the times that you went back, that ain't gonna change nothing. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Love y'all. Be cool.